Hi guys, and welcome to Obsession Car Detailing. Today is a bit of a first for us. It's our first video review of a product, and right now I'm really excited to have in possession the brand new Zentool 21E2. Now the Zentool was one of the first large action machines available in the Australian market that was not a Rupes. Some would say it's a copy of the Rupes along with a slew of other machines on the market. Since the Zentool was released, various other machines have become available. Everything from I think Super Cheap Auto have their own brand, dual action large throw machine, through to ShineMate and a few other companies as well. The Zentool's, I think, to my knowledge anyway, the first 21mm throw machine available in Australia that wasn't a Rupes. We've been using them for quite some time now alongside the Rupes, and they make fantastic machines, but with some of the other machines on the market, it was time for an update. Now this machine has had a few features to it. It's got easily replaceable brushes, all new design, external design and molding designed to be ergonomic to use, replaceable brushes, and a new 600 watt motor. Now the old motor was 900 watts, but I believe they've increased the efficiency on this one, so we use less power to get the same results and less noise as well. So let's open the box up and see what we've got. All right, time to open the machine. Struggling a bit here, but here we are. So we've got a manual, an Allen key, some replacement spare brushes, and the machine itself. My first impression is this power cord. This is beefy. This is not a thin, cheap power cord. This is what, 2 by 1 millimeter squared. Look, I don't know what that means, but this is a quality power cable. Let's see if we can see that, but that's a nice, thick, good quality power cable. I really like the fact it's got this Velcro here. I usually buy Velcro strips for all my tools so I can put the cables away nicely. This comes with it inbuilt, which is great. So nice work there, guys. Really cool touch. Let's get rid of that. So it's fairly long. I think this cable is around 4 meters or so. We can measure it later, but I don't think it matters too much. Okay, it smells new. I love it. We've got a nice 6-inch backing plate there. Nice solid click button there. This dial feels a little bit solid. Doesn't feel as nice as a Rupes one, but it feels solid. The plastic has that kind of new plastic feel. Feels great. This is a strong machine. I mean, it's not a cheap machine, I don't think. I think these retail for $349, so they aren't a cheap machine, but they are a quality item. So you can see just here, I'll just show the camera there, just here and there, you've got these 2 easily removable covers to replace the brushes. So let's plug this in and see what it sounds like. That is a pleasant sound. It doesn't have that whining, that horrible whining noise you get with some other machines. That's on speed 1, so let's go through the speeds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if I hold this right now, I'm going to turn it onto speed 3 because that's the most common speed we use for polishing, and let's see what it feels like. That feels nice, it feels fairly well balanced. Bear in mind there is no pad on here, but so with the pad that should be actually more balanced. One thing I'm noticing here is the distance between the backing plate and the shroud. This is very similar to the Rupes design. I'll get out a Rupes in a bit and I'll show you, but you can see how this backing plate there rubs up against the shroud, rubs up against the backing plates. I'm not a fan of that. With the Rupes, you have to periodically take off the backing plate and apply some oil to the shroud. Otherwise what happens is you get lots of bits of black rubber going everywhere, and I'm not a fan of that, but I'm hoping this might not be the case here. If you look at this backing plate, it's actually very smooth. It's not a rubber surface, so I'm thinking this in itself being smooth means it won't require lubrication rubbing up against this. I would prefer if there was a bit of a gap between the backing plates and the shroud, just to allow it to free spin a bit more. One of the things I don't like about the Rupes is that how they don't free spin that easily. So some people do what's called the washer mod. I've done that to mine. People say that you don't need to do the washer mod on the Rupes 21 Mark II. Yeah, you don't need to, but it still makes the machine better, so I've done it. So if you look here, it won't free spin, whereas if this was spaced away, it would. I believe this is added as some sort of safety feature. Maybe later, Zentool can look into making a backing plate that has a spacer in there, so that doesn't happen. So let's put a pad on and test it. So I've put a Rupes yellow pad on here. Let's be honest, these and all of the other large action machines are basically copies or derivatives of Rupes machines. I'll talk about my thoughts on that a bit later. A lot of people will say, oh, you know, you shouldn't use anything. The Rupes machines are more expensive because of R&D and whatnot. Yeah, that's true. But you know, once you've done the R&D, you need to become more competitive. And the fact of the matter is, these machines that are made in China do a very, very good job, and ultimately your results are going to be the same. I think there is room in the market for both the genuine items and the derivatives. Me personally, I like the Rupes machines, but I also have a few non-Rupes machines as backups and for spares and for staff members as well, because I don't want them using $800 machines and potentially breaking them. So let's see what this feels like with the pad on. That's speed 6. All right, all I can say there, the balance there is perfect. It feels just perfect. I'm gonna grab a genuine Rupes 21 and put the pad on, and let's see if we can feel a difference. So by way of comparison, I've got the Rupes 21 Mark II here with a yellow pad. Let's just see how this feels. We'll chuck it straight into speed 3. Yep, that feels great, perfectly balanced. I can't really feel a difference between that and the Zentool. Might be a slight difference in sound, but too close to call. I could get a decibel meter and measure it, but look, who cares? I'm not trying to do a review here comparing the Rupes to the Zentool. They're both different machines, both have different price points. I believe that there is room in the market for both of them. The advantage of the Zentool obviously is price. Rupes, of course, you know, you've got the brand recognition, the name, the R&D, and you're supporting a company that really has done the most out of any other companies in the world to push, you know, paint correction and detailing to the next level. Along with coatings, I believe that the large action DA machine are the two products that have really revolutionized detailing in the past couple of years. But look, like with all things, it's inevitable that copies and derivatives and items that are inspired by them will come up, and that's what the Zentool is. Look, the Zentool is a very well-made machine that takes the Rupes, changes a few things, and makes it available at a more affordable price point. Because let's be honest, your average weekend warrior, your hobbyist, enthusiast is not going to spend $800 on a Rupes to polish one car, and that's where things like the Zentool, the Shine Mates, and even the the super cheap auto Rockies, the Rockwells come in. Anyway, let's take the backing plates off and have a look at the insides and compare the machining and the internals. So they almost look identical inside. On the left, we have the Rupes, and on the right, we have the Zentool. Now, the major improvement on the Zentool over the Generation 1 Zentool is that we're now using CNC machined pieces there, and before they were just cast. And so this should mean greater reliability, better balance, better performance. The motor is a 600 watt in the Zentool, and I believe the Rupes has a 600 watt motor as well. It's all about efficiency, really. Having a higher wattage motor doesn't necessarily mean more cutting power. It just means more noise and more heat generated. So it's good that Zentool have been able to get a low powered motor to perform as well. But we'll find that out shortly. Look, overall, really you can't pick the difference. Obviously the backing plate fitting is slightly different, but they both look pretty identical. And that's what you'd really be expecting. I mean, the Zentool and the other machines are basically, like I said, copies of the Rupes. And that's not a bad thing. Rupes and Rupes resellers will try and tell you otherwise. But I think, innovation and competition is good. And you need that in order for a society, in order for markets to progress. And look, that leads to things like Rupes developing the hybrid. I doubt that Rupes would have developed the hybrid if there had not been copies, because Rupes needed to make something that is unique in the market, and that's what they did with the hybrid, which is a fantastic little tool. So, competition drives innovation. All right, so the true test of a polishing machine is to see how it performs and feels. I'm not going to be doing anything like measuring cut and see how it cuts compared to other ones, because realistically I know it's going to cut. It's going to work. You choose the right pad and polish, and it's going to cut hard and fast. So I'm going to use this just to do some polishing to see how it feels and sounds on the panel, to see if it bogs down or not. So I was going to use some Optimum Hyper Polish on the Rupes yellow pad. I must say I do like that sound. That sound is quite pleasant. It is a lot better than the Rupes in that regard, on speed 1 anyway. So let's do some polishing and see how it goes. So I'm polishing here on speed 4. And it's certainly smooth, very quiet. The noise is not fatiguing at all. So these curves here on the Mazda bonnet will help see how well it bogs down and handles those. So just there, the machine has stopped spinning. It's stopped there, and we're turning again. At speed 3, the machine isn't as smooth. Up to speed 4 though, it's fantastic. With one hand even. So yeah, really impressed with it. It works well there. Look, I know we know it's going to cut. A machine can be noisy, not smooth, whatnot. It's still going to perform on the paint. The machine did bog down there on the curves as we got there. That was to be expected. The Rupes does the same. Just about all non-direct drive machines do the same. Perhaps having a washer mod on this would help, as it would be more free spinning. But so far, I don't think a washer mod will be needed. I want to quickly polish this guard here now to see how we go there. Performing really well there. I'm just going to do the same with the Rupes, just so I can really compare it and get a feel for it. All right, so I'm just going to polish this guard using the Rupes just to see how it feels. All right, so immediately I noticed the Rupes is ever so slightly smoother. If you're wearing gloves, you probably wouldn't notice it. And the reason I'm not wearing gloves today, and I usually do wear slightly padded gloves, is to really feel the difference. The Rupes is definitely slightly smoother. Is it worth the $400 or so premium? Up to you, really hard to say. All right, guys, so that was just a really quick initial review of the Zentool 21E. In use from that real short test period there, I feel the Rupes is ever so slightly smoother in use. When you're testing it like that, just with no pattern, just with no load, they both are equally smooth. The Rupes, when actually polishing, felt a bit smoother. I felt less vibrations through my hand using the Rupes on the trigger area, but other than that, they're pretty close. And I think the price difference makes a very strong case for the Zentool. With the Zentool, I also preferred this beautiful grip here, nice textured rubber grip. It feels a bit more secure when holding it, and I think overall the machine is a bit more comfortable to hold for my hands anyway, compared to the Rupes. Your mileage may vary. One of the important things to consider when buying a machine is the after-sales support. Rupes, from what I hear, does have does offer good support, but I do know a fair few people personally who have had problems sourcing parts and whatnot, and have sent their machines away and haven't got them back for weeks. With Zentool, I know that you can get the parts locally fairly quickly, and if you're Sydney based, you can literally just pop in and get whatever you need, and they'll usually just give you a new machine as well. Look, basically, if you're based in Sydney, I think getting a Zentool is really worth it purely because it's local. Rupes, look, there's very few reasons to buy Rupes these days if you're not a professional detailer. If you're a professional and use them day in, day out, I think having the Rupes is definitely worthwhile because that slight smoothness, I think, does help over the long term. The Zentool, as well as some of the other ones, some of the other brands, are fantastic for people who detail on a once a week or on weekends and things like that. But the Rupes overall does have this feeling of refinement. And of course, look, if you're a professional detailer, from a branding and image perspective, using Rupes machines, I suppose, is worth a little bit in terms of, you're showing that you're using Italian machines that cost a lot of money. So it does kind of give this air of professionalism. But other than that, look, I think this is a fantastic machine. Would I buy one right now? Probably not, and that's purely because I'm not in the market for any new machines. I'm pretty good in that front. But when we do expand, when we do open a larger shop and need more machines, I'll definitely buy a couple of these over the Rupes. I'd probably keep the Rupes as well for myself, but if I was going to be, if I had multiple staff and they were all going to be using and abusing machines, I'd much rather get the cheaper ones because they all come with a very good warranty, and this seems to be very well made. I'm going to continue using this for some time, and I'll give you my thoughts again later on. But from this short 5-10 minutes review, I'm really impressed with this, and I can highly recommend purchasing this machine if you're after a large throw 21mm dual action polishing machine and don't want to spend the money on Rupes. The after sales support from ZAS, and I'm speaking personally from experience, is fantastic, and I think this machine, especially once you get a 5-inch backing plate for it, will be an absolute monster. My preferred use of the 21 really is to use the Kamikaze 5-inch backing plate on there. It becomes an absolute beast, and the original Zentool had a 5-inch plate for it as well. And what differentiated it from the Rupes was the 5-inch backing plate for the original Zentool was actually balanced for that machine, whereas the Rupes tell you not to use their 5-inch plate on the 21 because it's not balanced. So if and when Zen Automotive come out with a 5-inch plate, I think it'll be an absolute winner. Even right now with the 6-inch plate, it's beautiful. But me personally, I like using 5-inch plates because you can get into more spaces. But look, this is a solid review. Highly recommended machine. I'd definitely buy one if you're in the market for a new polishing machine. And look, if you're a professional detailer, I think buy a Rupes, then buy one of these as a backup, or if you need a secondary machine for someone else to use. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please comment down below, and don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. Thanks a lot.